that we cite in contempt Atty. Heather for lying. And
Second.
under paragraph C of our rules, section 11.
This will be the second order.
Yes. So, Mr. Chair.
Do we hear a second?
Next.
There is a motion to cite in contempt Atty. Harder under paragraph C of section 11. The same is seconded by the Honorable Gutierrez. Is there any objection? There being no objection, the motion is hereby granted.
Madam Chair,
Paduano.
before you recognize Attorney Harder, let me just clarify now, because if the violation of Attorney Harder will fall on paragraph E, and the maximum penalty is 10 days. Now, since the good chairman Acop cited him in contempt in violation of section 11, paragraph C, that is, of course, it can be served for 30 days or more. And the motion was approved, no? That until the committee report will be submitted for plenary approval. And, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, can I have a motion?
Attorney Harder, you're recognized.
Yes. Well, thank you po. Yung lying po, with respect to Dr. Krishna, kung po yun parang unfair po. Because yung sinasabi niyang galing sa LGU, kasi madalian po yung bili nun wala pa pong nai-release yung LGU. Nung kinuha yung kanyang plane ticket, Saturday po yung kuha ng plane ticket. I think Saturday or Sunday po. Wala po yung, kahit natingnan nyo po yung record ng LGU, wala kaming inirelease na ganon. Yung LGU ang magbabayad, i-reimburse niya pa yon. Tapos babayaran niya po ako. Hindi po totoo yun na galing sa LGU.
There's no basis for saying that you paid for the tickets when you're very much aware that ultimately you will be reimbursed by the local government.
Yes, ito po yung kinuha ng aming administrator. Yung pera po ibinigay ko po.
I understand, attorney. But the ultimate fact is it will be the LGU which will be shouldering the expenses for the transportation. Am I not correct?
Totoo po yung kaya lang po.
Why did you not volunteer that information? And instead you told us that you were the one who shouldered.
Yes, I shouldered it during that time na
You
kailangan
did
po.
not qualify your answer
I'm sorry
that
po.
you shouldered it only during that time.
Hindi.
Because if your intention really is to tell the truth, you should have said, I advanced the payment and the same will be reimbursed by the LGU. But you did not.
Sinabi ko po kanina yung na parang i-reimburse lang po. Hindi, sabi ko po sa kanina na hindi niya pa ako nababayaran, may utang pa siya sa akin. Madam Chair,
Chairman Paduano.
ito attorney, dito na ako nakikinig. At saka sinabi mo pa nga pati yung sasawa niya. Diba? Ang sasawa niya, ano yung business local government yun? Diba? Sinabi mo kanina, pati sasawa niya, pati sa husband niya. Madam Chair, yung sa husband niya, yung accommodation po. Kasi nasa pangalan niya yon, yung accommodation, nasama na din yung asawa niya.
Attorney Harder, we've heard you enough. You are committing further misrepresentations. And I am apprehensive that that might invite your third order for contempt. So, parliamentary status, there are two orders of contempt. One on the basis of paragraph E and F of section 11. And the second one under paragraph C of section 11. Do we hear the second motion?
Submitted to the plenary.
To complete the parliamentary status, there is a motion to detain Attorney Harder in the detention facility of the House until such time that the committee report is submitted to the plenary. Do we hear a second? Is there any objection? The motion being seconded and there being no objection, the motion to detain in the plenary until such time that the committee report is submitted is hereby granted.
Madam Chair,
Chairman Paduano.
this is not an amendment to the motion that was approved by this honorable committee. This is just a question of the effect, no? Implementation of such order from this committee. For ako, Madam Chair, with the indulgence of the members of this committee and of course the chairperson, mabigyan na muna ng follow, no? Follow, the detention for Atty. Harder, which is a subject to contempt of this committee, will be in effect after New Year na siguro, para makapag-Christmas naman. No?
Yes.
Yun lang po yung sa akin.
Is that a motion, Chairman Paduano?
Because that's my manifestation, but specifically, may I respectfully move, Madam Chair, that the detention of Atty. Harder will be implemented after Christmas and New Year's Eve. So that will be on what's Monday, the first Monday of January. The 13th will be resumption. 6.
January 6.
7 na siya kasi January 6, ano rin yun eh, tweakings. January 6 na po. 7 po kung okay yung...
There is a motion to suspend the implementation of the detention order to January 6. That is the first working day after the Christmas holidays. Perhaps this is in the spirit of Christmas, Chairman.
Yep. Ayan.
Do we hear a second? Chairman Acop, because you were the movant for the detention.
Madam Chair, I will second.
Okay na.
Madam Chair, ngayon ko lang in my almost 15 years dito sa committee, sa Congress na ito, ngayon ko lang nakita yung ginagawa mo, Atty. Harder. There were other officials of government na nag-appear dito. They have lied. Pero hindi kagaya ng extent ng ginagawa mo. So, kung ako lang ang personal na tatanungin, ako, maski holidays, ikukulong kita eh. To tell you frankly. But because of the intercession of the chairman of this committee, the Honorable Paduano, I will accede to that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The manifestation of Chairman Acop is duly noted. Chairman Paduano.
Thank you, Chairman Acop. Thank you po.
A manifestation, Madam Chair, because I was the one who moved for the contempt.
Honorable Lecho.
Yes. I agree with Congressman Acop. Kasi para sa akin, Madam Chair, hindi po biro na sasabihin yun. I don't think that was expressed, kung nasabi po yan, it was not intended as a joke. So, nakikita ko po, Madam Chair, talagang merong ano doon. Seryoso po, and he means what he said. Hindi yung joke yun. It's actually, it's not only an insult to this committee, it's an insult to the institution. Nasasabihin mo, huwag kayong kakain doon dahil baka ma-poison kayo or ma-drug kayo, tapos magpa-drug test kayo, magiging positive kayo. Anong pagkakaalam niya sa House of Representatives na tayo ay nagbibigay ng pagkain na hindi lang nutritious pero masama sa kalagayan. So ako, Madam Chair, yun ang pinaka hindi ko matanggap na insulto sa institusyong ito. Tama po, first time. Marami pong sinungaling pong nag-appear dito sa Committee on Public Accounts. Marami po talagang sinungaling nag-appear dito. Pero hindi ko inaasahan ng mga ganung aligasyon na maririnig ko dito.
The manifestation of the Honorable Adjong is likewise noted. Our parliamentary status, there's a motion to suspend the implementation of the detention order to January 6. The same is duly seconded by the Honorable Gutierrez. Do we have any objection? There being no objection, the motion is hereby granted. Somebody's raising his hand. Please identify yourself.
Mr. Chair, I am Councilor Mike Magavilla. I was present during the last hearing that was conducted. And if we could go back to the record, at 2 p.m. we were eating our lunch that the food was served during that last hearing, Madam Chair.
I believe, Councilor, that whether you ate or otherwise is beside the point. What we are after to is the fact that you were warned not to eat because of the allegation that we might drugs or poison to your food. Please be informed that we are being served the same food which are being served to all the resource persons. And I totally agree with all the members of the House who have made their own manifestation already. This is a serious attack to this institution. And certainly, we do not do that. Do you know if there are members who wish to interpolate now?
I have some few questions, Madam Chair, but it's nearing 3 o'clock. So, I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask to to the National Heritage Commission. Saan ko na?
Yes, we recognize Jong for his interpellation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to direct my questions po to NHCP. But before that, Madam Chair, I would like to offer you our food, our snack, sir. Sarap po yan. I think lasagna po ito. Just a couple of clarification, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, last committee hearing, there was a discussion regarding the site where this temporary marketplace was situated. And there was also a question that was asked to the mayor whether or not the site where this temporary market will be placed required a certification and perhaps maybe an assessment from the certification from NHCP. Considering, Madam Chair, that I believe the area where it was constructed, this temporary marketplace, is considered part of the heritage zone of Silay City. Now, Mr. Chair, the response of the mayor, I believe, and based on our documents here, the response was they sent a message, a letter to NHCP, but it wasn't responded to. Now, we have here Chairman Jose. I'd like to ask po, Chairman Jose, ito po, from this, nagsulat po sila, did you receive any request letter from the municipality and the city of Silay?
We have a timeline here, Your Honor,
Yes.
of the communications and the responses that we made, starting from July 29, when the resolution was passed requesting for the lifting of the important cultural property status of the Silay Market. So through the correspondence, we also conducted correspondence with the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and the National Commission we correspond. No, the National Commission for Culture and the Arts said there is no cultural, artistic, architectural, national significance to the market. Now, the market is at least 55 years old, which qualifies it as possible important cultural property. But since it hasn't been declared a national landmark, nor does it possess a marker from our institution, and we already have marked the Silay Heritage Zone as a series of houses based on NHI Resolution number 2, series of 1990. and NHI Resolution number 3 of Series 1993, the market does not fall within the heritage zone
Okay.
of the concern.
What about the establishment in itself? It was over 50 years, no? Under Republic Act 186 po, would that, how many years can establishment, for example, be considered as part of a national heritage assets?
It should be at least 50 years old.
Yeah.
But considering, and now it is 55 years old, but considering consultations, there was nothing of historical or artistic value. So we in a resolution of the National Historical Commission in October, we lifted the imposition.
So meaning to say the city government can proceed even without asking its CP to conduct an assessment on the location itself?
We gave the permission, we lifted it so that they can already continue the what interventions they have with that.
So wala na pong kailangan, hindi na po kailangan yung kanyang assessment niyo, certificate, whatever.
Hindi na po.
Oh, hindi na. I don't know, Madam Chair, to whom do I direct this my next question? Maybe po dun sa, do we have the Administrator of National Heritage Zone of Silay City? Do we have her or him here? Somebody can answer that? Yes, I yield to Chairman.
I think it's also the mayor, the chairman.
Okay.
No, I think it's also the mayor. But with the indulgence of Congressman Ajok, balikan ko lang po yung NCCP. Chairman, of course, under the law, 15 is about can be considered, di ba? Now, but of course, supposedly before demolition or improvement of such now 50-year-old structure should get a clearance from you. Tama? Okay, now, in the case for the information of the Honorable Committee to the resource person, ang problema kasi dito, though it is not declared and part of the heritage zone, ang problema kasi dito is the project has already started, no? Before getting clearance through a sangguniang resolution to the National Historical Commission. Yun pong issue ito. Para ang labas kasi, dahil may problema, simula na, hinabol na lang yung yung request to release such structure. Wala sa loob ng heritage zone. But the question is, that is a 55-year-old building that should need clearance from the National Historical Commission. Yun po issue. Now, they get the clearance from the National Historical Commission to a resolution after implementation of the project. So, ongoing yung project, saka sila kutingin ng clearance from the National Historical Commission. Tama po, Chairman?
Yes, Your Honor.
O, yun po.
Okay. So let me go back to my previous question. What confuses me, Madam Chair, is that under the law, any establishment that has reached more than 50 years old would be considered as part of the national heritage. It's clearly the public market is 55 years old or so. So why is it not? I think considered to be or declared to be a part of national heritage, and why did the HCP allows the continuation of an ongoing remodeling of this public market?
We allow the demolition depending on the merits of the building. So there are many buildings which are beyond 50 years, which do not have artistic or cultural value. So in that case, we give that as a matter of course. So it is hard for us actually to give such an instruction. Like there are many old houses here in Manila which we have to acquire because actually the idea would be for the government to buy we buy these sites not to prevent them from destruction. But since we do not own the structures, we allow them to be demolished in effect. There are certain structures which reach our commission that we see are of sufficient cultural artistic value, then we cause a cease and desist order. In this case, we did not.
The way I understand it, Madam Chair, based on the explanation of Chairman Jose, is that there are two things by which an establishment already considered as part of the national heritage assets, by way of improving it, no? Ang pagkakalam ko. In this case, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask Chairman Jose. In this case, demolition ito or remodeling, magkaiba po yun kasi, di ba? I believe if yung sinabi po, there are no aesthetic value, there are no designs that will be greatly affected, no? In this case of public market po sa Silay, kasi interested po ako dito, Madam Chair, we have several assets for establishments in my locality, Mr. Chair, na more than 70 years old. Kasi gusto ko lang, may sentimental value, eh, diba? It's a repository of the community's memory and history, hindi ba? So in the case of this public market, would you classify that as remodeling, as a total demolition?
Actually, what happened, Your Honor, is that the city government applied for the removal of presumption of important cultural property because they wanted to change to actually demolish the structure.
So it's a complete demolition. So they want to change the entire structure of the public market. Now, going back to the information was shared to us by Chairman Paduano, the problem is that by law, the city government is required to get certification from you, right? Bago ho nila i-demolish yung mga establishment 50 and above, regardless kung ano itsura niyan, o pangit man yan, or maganda man yung pag-preserve, no? So in this case, when they started reconstructing or demolishing this community asset, I would call it community asset, was there any violation under your law? Under the law?
Perhaps I can read
Yes,
you
can you please enlighten this committee?
the timeline.
Yeah, I understand because the timeline is very essential, no, in determining the possible violation of the law.
So the first item on our timeline is July 29, 2024. The Silay City Council passed the resolution number 24293 authorizing Mayor Judith Gallego to file a petition for the lifting of the important cultural property that is ICP designation for the Silay City Old Public Market. On August 8, 2024, the Silay City Government, represented by Atty. Janus Harder, submitted a petition to the NHCP requesting the removal of the ICP designation of the Silay Old City Old Public Market. The submission includes photo documentation, as-built plans, a conceptual development plan, and the City Council resolution.